Alright guys, so we finally got some good weather, so we were able to take the Cobra out of its resting hole. Yeah, pretty much this is it. We haven't even washed it. We just got it out to town, got it from the pit where it laid, and we're just gonna give it a little drive. It hasn't been driven except for about the 30 miles out here from my house in at least 2 months. So it's time to kind of get her ready for summer, break the tires back in.
Yeah, she ain't pretty.
But yeah, not pretty, but it pulls, so that's pretty much all we care about right now. No, but we'll get into the specs when we're in the car. I can tell you guys what's done to it, what hasn't been done to it yet, what the future plans are, and the directions that the car may or may not go. It's got nothing crazy like we talked about before, but pretty much everything is ready for it to be like either a track car or just like a daily sleeper, because the interior hasn't been touched. It's all stock there, but it had the solid axle swapped into it because the Cobras came with independent rear end. That was because my dad wanted it to be a track car, but then he had to start dailying it because his other car broke, so then he kind of like lost the dreams of the track car with it. But now that he has another daily driver, he's thinking about putting it back towards the track direction. So that could be really cool if that happens, but we'll just have to play it by ear and see how that goes. Guys, so now we're driving, and I guess we'll start with the top where we left off with the suspension. Like I said just a second ago, the solid axle was swapped back into it because at one point he wanted it to be a track car, and that's the direction that the shop wanted to go with the car. But so it got front and rear coilovers done by Griggs Racing at Sonoma Raceway. They don't operate out of there anymore. I think they're in Petaluma now. But they're a local speed shop that specializes in Mustangs, and they do other cars too, but they developed their in-house coilover system that they make and fabricate there, and they seem to do a pretty good job. That being said, it's a super stiff ride. It tracks really well. It goes right where you want it to. There's virtually no body roll, but you feel absolutely everything in the pavement.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, it's...
I think Sean can speak for that.
Yeah, like coming off a car that has full coilovers, like I thought the crazy road rough. This is like a whole new experience for rough.
Yeah. So they are definitely a little bit overkill, a little more than a little overkill for dailying, but for the track, I think that they would do, you know, pretty much perfect. Then tires. Right now we're running 315s in the rear, 275s in the front, Nitto NT 555 Extremes. The fronts are nice, but the rears are pretty shot. They still have some tread left, but not much. And then the engine, stock engine with the bottom end, and then it's got a overbore throttle body, full intake, overdrive pulleys for the supercharger, fluidine liquid to air intercooler, the Diablo tune to wrap it all together, which was done at RPM in Rohnert Park, dynoing in at 415 horsepower at the wheels and virtually equivalent torque. I think it was within 5 or 10 feet-pounds of torque to the rear tires, so that was pretty cool. We haven't been able to get it to the drag strip yet. Even though it is pretty much set up to be a road course car, it's still just kind of fun that we've wanted to do, see what kind of quarter miles it can put down on just street tires. I mean, hopefully we would be in the 11s, ideally, but
maybe a really low 12.
I don't think I can shift this car fast enough because
the gearbox.
I don't know what's been done to the gearbox, honestly. If I know it's gotten a new clutch at one point, but I don't know what's happened to the gearbox, if this is how it is stock or if there's some sort of shift kit in it, but it is insanely stiff. that's part of the trade-off that you get when you start driving higher horsepower cars is you need burlier transmissions to be able to handle the power, and then you like lose that comfort, I guess. But it still runs an organic clutch with like a sprung organic clutch, so the clutch pedal isn't bad, and it's not like too grabby where you have to like in traffic. It's really like not fun, but it's really not like that. The clutch feels like it should. It feels like OEM. All right, so we just turned the camera off for a second because there was a rough patch of road and we couldn't really talk because we were being thrown all over the place, and I don't think you guys can really hear us because of all the bumps in the road.
I want to see if this will actually if the road noise will come through on the GoPro.
Yeah, we'll find out. It's pretty bad right now though. One thing that I forgot to mention about the tune is it definitely like affected gas mileage pretty seriously. When you just like putted around, and if you guys have supercharged cars or like, you know, anything similar to this or this car, you'll know that the supercharger doesn't really kick unless you really put your foot into it. So you can drive it around without having to engage the supercharger if you're trying to just, you know, be easy on it or, you know, get better gas mileage for commuting. And when you do that, it gets, you know, like 18 miles to the gallon. But as soon as you put your foot into it a little too heavy and that supercharger engages and it starts, even if it's just 5 pounds of boost, I think this one, the tune did it up to 12 pounds, but your gas just gets slurped right away. I don't have a figure for it, but like, you can like visually see the gas gauge going down when you put your foot into it.
Driving this car for an hour, if you're like not even driving it that hard. I remember when you came over, you put 20 in, and by the end of the day, I put another 20 in.
Well, I'm at a half tank. I left my house with 3/4 of it, so I burned 1/4 of a tank just coming out here.
It's not even that bad of a drive.
I mean, it's almost exactly 26 miles from my house to your house.
So if that's any indication of like gas mileage on this.
Yeah. So it goes through gas quite quickly, and we have to run minimum 91 octane, and for some reason 91 is the best you can get in California, which is kind of some trash if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, I don't know. It's stupid late.
Yeah, right.
But who really cares about gas mileage?
Yep. That's not the point. Yeah. So I like driving the car sometimes. It's not my favorite because of how stiff the transmission is mainly. It's not the most fun.
And reverse is pretty brutal.
Oh yeah, reverse is like really hard to get into for some reason. It likes to kind of kick it back sometimes.
But yeah, so for the car, it's not the prettiest from the outside, as you guys could probably see. But it's not about how the outside of this car looks.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really tragic, like the history of this car, because basically, when my dad was dailying it, somebody just like backed into it in a parking lot like on 3 different occasions. Like it got hit in the front and in the rear like twice. So like it really sucks. But like it was just like inside either grocery shopping or like at work, and then someone just whacked him in the parking lot, and that's how like 99% of the damage happened to this car. The other little bits are just that there's blackberries on our driveway that grow like ridiculously fast, so we can't keep up with them. We cut them back like every month, it feels like, and they are still always in the driveway ready to scratch our paint. But that's what you get when you live out in the middle of nowhere.
So guys, before we get on the freeway, I just want to hit on a note that if you are looking at buying a Cobra, like 03, 04, I would highly recommend buying one of these. If you're looking for something that's, you know, in the price range of like 15 to 20K.
I think they're a lot less than that, but I could be wrong.
I'm saying one with like 50K on it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay, yeah, totally.
Yeah. So if you're looking at one of these, I'd highly recommend buying one. I mean, I don't daily drive this, but speaking from just this car's example, like for very cheap, or even, well, not very cheap, but pretty cheap, you can make a lot more power out of this car.
And well, what I was springs to gain quite a bit of horsepower and not have to spend very much money, you know, to get to the 350, 400 wheel mark. But where you're going to have to spend a little more money is the suspension.
Yes.
That doesn't mean you have to go like all out and like, you know, do like a huge swap like what happened to this car. But, you know, you're going to have to buy yourself some coilovers or some stiffer springs, maybe some sway bars, you know, that kind of stuff. So I do like it. My only concerns, like I said earlier, are I don't like how stiff the transmission is, but that's personal. If you think you can deal with a really notchy transmission, then that's, well, you know.
Dead stop.
Yeah, right. You know, then maybe this car is for you. But since I've never actually driven a stock one, I can't really speak for how they perform just right out of the factory.
But from a lightly modded standpoint,
yeah,
this car's amazing.
Yep. I mean, for intake, exhaust, tune, pulleys, I mean, bigger intercooler.